13 minutes past 7. A very good evening to you. Welcome to The Full View. We've just been listening to evidence today that has been led, in fact, by another former Police Minister, Bheki Cele. He began the day, some would say, by throwing his successor under the bus, Senzo Mchunu, on the issue of the dissolution, or the plans at least, to disestablish the political killings task team, which was operating in KwaZulu-Natal. Cele saying that he believes that the minister had no authority to do so, that should have been deferred to the commissioner, and that Mchunu indeed overstepped. He has also confirmed that he knows Cat Matlala, the suspected criminal. They had multiple conversations, met more than once. Matlala, even post Cele's time in cabinet, arranged for him to stay at a luxury penthouse here in Gauteng. But Cele says, despite that, they're not friends, they're acquaintances. And so we've continued with the evidence. And of course, Thembekile, good evening to the viewers as well. And as we listen to what the former police minister is saying, he speaks about a handover that would have taken place between himself as well as his successor, and says that I told him that I'm a phone call away, but the call never came, and speaks about how he was shocked when he then saw the letter around the disbandment. He tried to speak to him, but didn't succeed. But also at the January 8th statement gathering, he then tried to speak to the president to say, please try and arrange a meeting between the two of us. It didn't seem to work as well. And he also then speaks about the fact that according to him, he could not have done this, but also there are other task teams that actually cost a lot more. He says, and of course, Thembekile, as we speak, even today, there's a lot going on with the Madlanga Commission as well, and that breaking news there also linking to what is currently coming out from there. And by the way, we're going to stay with the pictures from Parliament while we bring up that statement that we've just received from the Office of the Chief Justice. It's regarding evidence delivered at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, which suggested in part that the acting judge president here in Gauteng, Ledwaba, would have received, or was supposed to have received, some sort of a bribe or inducement, if you will, to grant bail to Katiso KT Molefe. The Chief Justice tonight saying this: the judiciary has noted with great concern the testimony given on the 21st of October by one witness A at the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system, known as the Madlanga Commission, to the effect that he heard from an informer that a sum of 2.5 million rand was earmarked to secure bail for Katiso KT Molefe, although the witness did not know if the money was intended for presiding acting judge president Ledwaba or the public protector. Now, we hear from the Office of the Judge saying that the process of the JSC, that's the Judicial Service Commission, it has to be triggered by a formal complaint on oath, which has not been done against the judge. But what we do know from the CJ's office is that the acting judge president Ledwaba denies receiving any sort of bribe in the Katiso Molefe matter, and says in fact he would appreciate an opportunity to clear his name at the commission. He's also said he will not be taking special leave while all of this is unfolding. So that is the breaking news related to the Madlanga Commission, which, as we know, this is a story we're following on two strands related to what the ad hoc committee in Parliament is also dealing with. And of course, speaking about that ad hoc committee, Thembekile, SABC News reporter Abra Barbier is standing by to speak to us as we watch these, of course, live visuals there. Abra, yesterday you were talking about how there's a lot that, is taking place away from the cameras, where we can see some members getting tired and all of that, but it seems today some of the drama is in full view of the public.
There's a lot happening, I guess, countrywide in terms of the story, and a lot happening in the committee this evening. MPs are really buckling down because, as you know, it is General Bheki Cele's first day before the committee. He's taking the opportunity to air his version of events, to give as much information as possible to MPs, and he's also shedding a lot of light on the taxi situation in KZN specifically, talking about how violent it could get, talking about how members from various SAPS units were recruited to act as personal protectors, bodyguards for certain people within the taxi industry. He says at one point, I think it was him and I think it was Fani Masimola, General Fani Masimola, who went to go and engage with these former cops to try and entice them to come back to the SAPS. But of course, what they are earning within the taxi industry far outweighs, you know, what they were getting within the SAPS. And they said even though they are loyal to the badge, they love being cops, they were earning much better money doing what they were doing for the taxi industry. That's one of the bombshells that was dropped in the committee this evening. Another, of course, that's a talking point after Advocate Arendse questioned Bheki Cele, just before MPs were supposed to take over and start their rounds of questioning. Advocate said he just needs to inform the committee that he received a message from KZN Provincial Commissioner Madlanga to say that the statement, the allegations he made regarding Bheki Cele receiving money from Cat Matlala, he made a mistake, he got the wrong information, and he apologized via the message to Arendse, apologizing to the committee. MPs felt that this is not good enough. They said that he made those comments on a very public platform and he needs to go and retract those allegations on a public platform as well. The chairperson of the committee then instructed MPs that they were not allowed to ask Bheki Cele anything relating to those allegations, which we now obviously know are false. At this point, Cele has not said anything. He never commented on it at all, but we are hoping to have a chat with him later on if he is willing to speak with us, just to ask him how he feels about the allegations being withdrawn, if he plans to do something, because obviously there is the issue of defamation. But then again, the comments were made in a parliamentary committee before the committee, and the general is protected by parliamentary privilege, and he also withdrew it to the committee. So there's that whole other angle which needs to be considered. So we're just waiting to hear if MPs are going to demand for him to come back to the committee and withdraw it in public himself.
And Abra, when you think about the issues around Cat Matlala, for example, as you've touched on, the fact that the former minister speaks about his the meetings that they would have had, and also says that he would be speaking to some other people who could be viewed as criminals. They would give him information, even tell him some kind of information that he would of course at some point find useful, and all of that, and explaining elaborately why that information would be important, and why at some instances he will even be taking some of these calls. And I suppose that is one of the big issues for some of the members of the committee, to say that why would you even entertain some of these particular conversations?
So yes, I've had MPs lean over to me to say, does he not have any problem admitting this? Wow, really shocked that he is very candid about his connections with certain underworld figures. He made it very clear there were no relationships. It was simply a matter of him being given information from these people, and he was obviously using the information because of the position he was in when that information was brought to him. But really candid, really upfront and direct. Almost funny when asked, so what did you do when you were offered a free stay at Mr. Matlala's penthouse? And he said, I took it. I don't have to declare things anymore, so I took it. So yes, not mincing his words, not hiding anything, being very direct and explaining why he thought it was okay to carry on having these conversations with certain people. Again, I have to stress, he made it clear that they were acquaintances and there were no relationships with him. And I suppose by that he means friendly relationships. It was all just a matter of them providing him with information which he thought was relevant at the time. Bongiwe?
Abra, certainly looks like you're in for the long haul there. Thank you so much for wrapping what has come out so far. We'll catch up with you a little later on. My colleague there, SABC News reporter Abra Barbier, live for us at that Hoc Committee. It is on a break and we'll take you back there as soon as it begins.